Ever get that feeling, like you're coming home after a long time away and you're not sure what to expect?
Today's deep dive, we're tackling that exact feeling.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
We're diving into Crossing the Han River,
Yeah.
a Tang Dynasty poem by Song Zhiwen. This thing, it's short, but it's packed with emotion. It's resonated with people for, well, centuries.
And for good reason. Tang Dynasty poetry, man, it just hits different.
We're going to unpack why this poem, in particular, have that power.
The imagery, the language.
But first, let me set the scene. Picture this. A lone traveler finally reaching the banks of the Han River. He's almost home, but...
But there's this weight on him.
Exactly. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's just experience the poem in its original Chinese. Even if you don't understand the language, listen to the music of it, the rhythm, the way the sounds create a mood.
I always say poetry is meant to be heard.
Reads the poem in Chinese.
See, even just the sounds, they tell a story.
Now, let's break down the meaning line by line. Beyond the mountain peaks, no news arrives, winter passes, and spring returns again. As I near my native place, my apprehension grows. I dare not ask the wayfarer for news.
See, right there in that first line, isolation, that feeling of being cut off, those mountain peaks, they're not just scenery, they're obstacles.
Keeping the speaker in the dark, literally.
And the way he talks about time, winter passes and spring returns again, it emphasizes how long he's been gone.
And the fact that life has kept moving forward without him.
You said it. Now, those last two lines, man, that's where it gets me. He's almost home, but he's afraid to find out what's waiting for him.
Yeah, it's like he's expecting bad news.
Exactly. And that's where the historical context comes in.
So hit us with it. Who was Song Zhiwen? What was going on in the Tang Dynasty that could make someone so afraid to go home?
All right, so Song Zhiwen, he was an official, right? Which means he traveled a lot, often far from home. And the Tang Dynasty, while it was this golden age of art and culture, it was also politically messy.
To put it lightly.
Exactly. Intrigue, power struggles, you name it. And for officials, well, let's just say their lives could change overnight. One minute you're in the emperor's good graces, the next you're exiled.
Wow, no wonder the guy's apprehensive.
Right. Imagine all the thoughts running through his head. Was he accused of something? Is his family okay?
It makes that fear of the unknown so much more real.
And that's what makes this poem so powerful. It's not just about some guy in the Tang Dynasty. It's about that universal human experience of uncertainty, that fear of what you might find when you go home. We've all felt that, haven't we?
Absolutely. And what I find really interesting is that the poem doesn't give us any answers. It just leaves us hanging, wondering what news the speaker's so afraid of.
And that's the beauty of it. It makes you think. It makes you put yourself in his shoes. What do you imagine happened to him during his time away?
What news is he dreading to hear?
Right. See, those are the questions that stick with you.
It's amazing how such a short poem can pack such a punch, you know? Makes you think about longing, apprehension, and that whole bittersweet thing about coming home.
It really does.
And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Crossing the Han River. It's a journey that stays with you long after the poem is over.
No doubt about it.
So next time you're heading home after a long trip, think of Song Zhiwen and that feeling of apprehension. It might just give you a new appreciation for the familiar.
Or make you a little nervous. Who knows?
Until next time.